Rants at the Movies, a podcast where we rant about films you may have seen at house parties. I'm one of your hosts and jack of all trades, Mono, and feeling like a new toothbrush is my co-host and master of none, Kira.
I'm feeling kind of bowling ballish.
That's a different thing entirely.
Yes, it is.
One is drugs, the other is getting shoved inside a tube to be pressurised.
Tube!
This film is full of tubes.
Tubes! And beautiful matte paintings.
And awesome overacting.
Giant foreheads.
Yes.
Many a giant head.
Although, maybe it doesn't fall into the films you may have seen at house parties category that we so loosely use.
Not the house parties I went to.
No,
we watched some weird shit though where people were like, I have this like messed up film from like the 1960s, let's watch it.
This just came from
Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, well, 70s, but it was more that
shit
kind of
like
stuff.
That fucked up shit I probably should never watched.
This came
but
from,
then also things like this.
Well, this came from us just going on an old B movie buzz and getting various box sets, because the box set, 3 of the films that we're covering this month are out of the one box set.
It's a fantastic box set.
It's an excellent box set, yeah, but it's just such a damn good film. This one in particular I had not watched in so long, and I think we watched it years back when we first got the box set.
Yeah, we had like a marathon night with a group of friends.
I was just going to say it was kind of at a party, so maybe I was wrong.
Because we watched this and The Incredible Shrinking Man on the same night,
and The Thing from Outer Space.
Yeah,
3 of which are coming up this month. Well, the other 2, this one, but yeah, this one. Well, the other 2 in particular, I remember quite well. This one, I just remembered the bones of it. And I had forgotten how, just not detailed, but, how in-depth it is. Especially compared to last week.
Oh, gotcha.
There's a lot going on,
It also still has that wonderful 1950s disregard for, things. They're like, oh, this thing is on fire. I'll just switch it off and walk away.
Yeah. They're very calm about certain things.
And you're like, dude, you should be more concerned about this. It's still on fire. Just because you've switched off the alarms doesn't mean it's not on fire anymore.
Well, particularly when the magical machine that has just been used to blow up the metal book,
let's unplug
it and it goes on fire, and they're just like, let's just stand at the other side.
There's
of the
just
room.
a whole sequence of blatant disregard for things
just safety in general.
Yeah.
But that aside, it's a fantastic film. I think it's
still
proper
incredibly
sci-fi.
relevant as well, because they're talking about needing
a
solution to their energy crisis.
Yeah, they're looking for a way to turn lead into uranium so that they can use more nuclear power. And it's cool because it's very forward thinking in that sense of it's a film from the 1950s talking about resource depletion.
Yeah, and it might seem like it's outdated now, in the way War of the Worlds. It's oh no, it was bacteria. It seems like an outdated concept now. At the time, it was groundbreaking. Well,
especially because it's not when even now when you see stories about that, sci-fi stories about resource depletion, it tends not to be that we've fucked the planet for base resources. It's not we've run out of nuclear material.
Yeah. But the whole reason that they're on Earth is because they can't think their way out of it, and they need humans who can think in weird and wonderful ways.
Well, also
who've been making research or progress that they haven't been.
I think it's that, and also partly the natural resources of Earth as well. If they succeed, they can make a shitload of uranium for them. If they
can't succeed, they can just move to Earth.
Yeah, that's the eventual plan.
But it's even I was making the Stargate comparison of the Asgard looking to the people from Earth to help them because they recognise that they think in a very different way.
Well, Exeter does.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else Exeter.
No, but Exeter has lived among people, seems to have lived among people for a fair amount of time.
Well, more than any of the rest of them.
Has more of an appreciation.
And Exeter is one of the things that I really like about this as well, because he's not a straightforward villain by any means.
No, he recognises the importance of humanity and their free will and their creativity.
Yeah, there's a couple of really small, not really small, there's a couple of small lines
all the sun lamp references and how he's no, we can't just wipe their minds.
Yeah, all that stuff. Well, his reasoning specifically behind it of how it's morally abhorrent to the subjects and therefore it creates blocks. And I was that's a cool little sci-fi thing. It's not just he doesn't want to use it because it's wrong. It
psychologically damages them as well. It removes the thing that makes them down.
I think the implication is it's okay on their people. it's fine to use on them because they don't have the same, you know, emotions or same like mental makeup.
Yeah.
They don't think the same way. So to have somebody's thoughts change to them isn't necessarily a big problem. But for us, because we're so big on free will, there's like our brain short circuits if you try and do it, because it is such an abhorrent idea to us. And there's just loads of little bits of that's just pure sci-fi, like, and you wouldn't necessarily expect it from sci-fi so early as this.
Yeah.
But before we go further into it, will we do a quick summary?
Summary!
When world-renowned, jet-flying, hotshot nuclear scientist Cal Beecham gets mystery instructions on how to build a fantastic machine, and then gets offered a job from a mystery man through said machine, he's interested, yet suspicious. When he starts work, he quickly begins to suspect his new employers are from beyond the stars, but needs to discover their intentions. With the help of an old friend and paramour, Cal will get his answers, and a whole lot more.
Yeah, Cal is hilarious. He should be a dick, but he's not.
He's
just got, every now and again, he throws in a little touch of restraint and humility that makes him not the full asshole.
It's so funny as well, because his character is practically a
The actor has the best name.
Rex Reason.
Yes.
Yeah, no, and he's fantastic in this as well. Like, I think it's as much how he sells the character is part of the reason that he's not an asshole and doesn't get annoying. Yeah. Because, like I said in the summary, he's a jet-flying, world-renowned, hotshot nuclear scientist who's way smarter than everybody else.
Introduction, he's giving an interview.
The first scene of the film.
Yeah, he's giving an interview to the press at a jet plane, and then he just casually puts a jumpsuit on over his suit.
Yeah.
Casually tosses his brief of notes into the back seat of the fighter jet and is like, oh yeah, the guys at
Lockheed
gave me one. Let me borrow one. And they're like, when will you have the solution? He's like, well, the sooner you let me leave, the sooner I can get started. And it's like, you should be an asshole, but you're not.
Even in that scene, because it's like, all right, he's flying a jet and he's a nuclear scientist and all the press are like mad to get to him. That's just in that intro scene.
Yeah.
But he still has that line about, they talk about the push button age, and he's like, no, we're not there yet.
Yeah, we need to application to
unlocking the nuclear power is one thing. Yeah, we need to make
but application of it is really important, and what I'm doing is important, but not as important as what's going to come ahead.
Yeah, and he mentions we
being
need engineers,
humble, and it's like, oh, you're good.
And he's like, yeah, we're not at the push button age until all these other guys are able to do what they need to do off what me and my guys are going to do.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's when they're like, yeah, when are we going to get to this push button age? And he's like, yeah, as soon as you let me go back to my work.
Yeah, piss off.
But yeah, there's just so many instances like that throughout the film where he should come off as an asshole because of the things he's saying. But then, yeah, he'll throw in a humble thing as well, where he when
he's leaving and he says to the assistants, what am I going to do? And he's like, well, I know an assistant who, is more than capable of running this project without me.
Yeah.
And it's like, and your man's kind of disarmed by the flattery, but he's also the type of person, he comes across as the type of person that he doesn't say things out of flattery or dishonesty. He seems to be pretty much a very straight shooter.
No, and I think that's why he not gets along with, but is able to get past everything and work with Exeter.
Yeah.
In the end, because they essentially are kind of like that. Because even Exeter says when he's accused of flattery, he says it's not flattery if it's the truth.
Yeah.
And I think Cal is the same. Yeah, he's not trying to flatter his friend. He's trying to give him confidence as well. If I don't come back, you're able to do it. But it's also a matter of fact. He's saying it because he is able to do it. And yeah, it just makes for a character that's really easy to get behind. Plus, he's got that 1950s
one hell of a fucking
the real casually sexist comment
about
when they're talking about what the Interocitor can and can't do. And one of the things is some sort of automatic executive function. And Joe, Cal's partner Joe, is like, oh, I think my wife could get a good bit of use out of that particular program. And he's like, yeah, but she might quickly find she's gained 20 pounds because it's doing all the work for her.
And he was like, God damn it, Cal. Fucking hell.
But then
they have a female. The female lead is a scientist on par with him,
and he seems to
he
views her on par.
Admires.
Yeah, he views her on par. They do have a romantic past, but he very much views her as a colleague and an equal in the work. So again, you think, Cal's no, he's not an asshole. But as I said, Rex Reason as well, the way he plays it, and just his voice as well, and
he's great, cadence. And he's like that kind of all-American Clark Kent, good-looking too.
Well, now, if we're talking comic book characters, he is Hal Jordan.
He is Hal Jordan, but like he's just got that look about him. Now, you were saying he was 27 filming this. That is a hard 27.
Yeah, he looks mid-30s.
Yeah.
But it was the 50s.
It was the 50s.
And people just looked older back then.
Yeah. Look at The Rock from the 90s in the turtleneck with the gold chain.
The one that always gets me is
the cast of Cheers.
No, there's a picture of like in these, when you see these things of like people looking older back then. It's a picture of two massive burly dudes with long hair and big fucking mustaches, and they look like they're in their 30s and they're 17. And they look like late 30s. So he was like 26 or 27 I think filming this, but yeah, he looks a bit older, but he's fucking excellent. He's really, really good. And then the other character who probably gets most screen time is of course Exeter. Yeah. That's Jeff Morrow.
Jeff Morrow, the wonderful Jeff Morrow, who's also in The Giant Claw.
Yes. And he's excellent as well because, as I mentioned, he's just a very nuanced, not even a villain, he's an antagonist.
But he's also a very warm character compared to the other alien dude, Brack. Brack is very cold.
Not from Space Coast to Coast.
That would be fucking hilarious, though.
That would make the film much more funny, yeah.
Who's very, cold and clinical, very emotionless. There is a warmth to Exeter.
Oh, absolutely.
And, almost a fondness. He doesn't, he is very threatening as well in everything he does in this really counterproductive way.
No, I think he's great at, dropping hints.
Yeah. He's got a touch of Gene Wilder and Willy Wonka about him. This slight mischievousness. He knows more and he's trying to let on. And it's a little,
but I think he's a bit more sinister than that. Because, when he...
But, unless it's the tunnel scene.
Yes. But, when he's, blowing up the book and the blueprints.
Yeah.
It's much because he wants to destroy the evidence that he was there in case Cal doesn't come along. Yeah. But it's also to kind of show the point.
And then we show him with the lead casing as well, to be I can still see you, even though you have Neutron the cat, which great name for a cat.
Before that, when he shows him the office, he does it under the guise of why walk around when I can show you your office from here? Our whole thing is about increasing efficiency and stuff.
Yeah, I can also watch you.
It's also, I can watch you in your lab.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's got these nice sinister moments, but then he's got these other really war moments, when he's first introduced and they're I'm not used to talking to somebody who's not flesh and blood, and he's oh no, I assure you I am flesh and blood, although I might seem a bit immaterial at the moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's
kind of charming. He's got he's charming in a way that the other ones that they seem to interact with aren't.
The other ones are more your kind of traditional stoic aliens.
Yeah.
It's really only kind of Brack and then the Monitor that we properly
and the Monitor's a dick.
Oh, the Monitor's a proper dick. The Monitor is oh no, okay, so we are kind of space Nazis again, are we?
I do love the fact that when they go to talk to the Monitor, they're all, because they all have that crazy white hair, but it's all in the blue light.
Yeah.
That they look like the dudes from the Green Lantern Corps.
So yeah, we briefly touched on it. He is Hal Jordan.
Hal Jordan.
And who I think
he's there's a lot of, as we were watching it, I was there's a lot of characters that I can see elements of him in now, the Professor. In the disregard for lab safety, he is 100% the Professor.
I said he's also a bit kind of Hank Scorpio in some ways. But just with the Hal Jordan thing, it's because he starts and he's this fast talking guy. He gets in a plane and he's flying it, and then
you get the quip about him being late.
Yeah, the quip about him being late. He overhears that there's some banter with the guys, and then he is actually not late. He's there, and
he's doing his fancy thing. He's showing
really
off.
Close to the Terry. Yeah, he's and I was is this guy Hal Jordan? And then his ship gets covered in a green light, and I was oh, he's Hal Jordan. He's Hal Jordan.
That's lands him, and then he's
where's that, sir?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think whoever made the new Green Lantern loved this film and also loved reading the Lensman series.
Yes.
But yeah, so
he's got
Hal Farnsworth.
Yeah, he's also got a touch of Phil Kent Sabin.
Yeah, he kind of does. But back to Exeter and Jeff Morrow.
Yeah.
No, I really like the way they play it with him. That he does have some sinister motive. We don't know what it is, but he does also seem really quite warm to them.
It's almost like he's running his own side experiment on the scientists that are there. He's observing them. He's learning behaviours them. Like
I think he hopes that, like, he's been sent there to get them to do.
So he's also trying to learn how to work with the humans and how receptive they might be to the idea of other beings. Like they've already shown them the technology, like the beads, fucking
the whole thing with the bead at the start is great. We kind of, I
can't remember what it's called. A resistor. There we go. That would have bothered the hell out of me when they're turning it up, and then it just goes poof, and they're like, cool. And then he's drilling it with like no eye protection or anything.
Again, disregard for safety.
Yeah, massively. And then they order all the bits in the pack. I just love the whole montage with the packing crates. And them putting it all together and trying to work it out.
That first kind of 15 or 20 minutes, everything up to
him leaving on the plane.
It's real intriguing and fascinating, because
it's also got that wonderful 1950s music that, like, you commented on.
The whole way throughout the film, it's great, it's proper like 1950s big Hollywood film orchestral music, that whole bit, it's real intriguing and real. It's almost like espionage in some ways, because they get this catalog, like they've had the order intercepted, and that's how they've gotten these. So he's like, order it again. They get this catalog and they work out that the sheets are actually made out of like a thin metal, and it's got all these listings. So he's like, I want to find out what this Interocitor is, because they keep mentioning different versions of it. Yeah.
And they're like, well, how do we get it? We don't know where it came from. And he's like, well, send the order the same way you did before.
Yeah,
somebody's clearly seen it.
Yeah, let's see if they intercepted it this time.
And I love it though, because he's like, you're too smart for your own good sometimes. And that's how they order it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's a test, not many people can build an Interocitor. So this was your application to come work for us, essentially.
Well, but that's it. The mystery just keeps deepening, because first they get this bead that's really, really, really like efficient and like way beyond anything that we should have at this point in time. And then
because he makes the comment about when he hands him, he's like, oh, did you order those for me? And he goes, yeah, and he hands him the envelope, and he's like, what's this, the packing slip?
Yeah.
Like, it should be a crate. And he's like, this is what they sent me. Like, to that, it's like, computers from the 1960s versus now.
Yeah, basically. He's like, expecting a supercomputer-sized room-sized supercomputer, and somebody's handing him a smartphone. That's basically what's happened to him.
Yeah, like, in fairness, there's more tech in my beat-up old car than they're sent man to the moon.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's ridiculous.
So it starts with just that, and then
So, like, that concept in and of itself of technology being so small and all these new materials and all these fantastical things that could be done, and the way the controls are all seem to work off like a colour spectrum as well. Like, when they're all like, move that thing to hear the concentrator discs.
Oh, but that's when it's actually built. Like, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. First you just have the mystery of the bead and how powerful it is. And then...
and it seems to be made of some insane material because they've been running tests on it.
And then the mystery deepens when the manual arrives and they decide to build it, and you're like, okay, they've built this machine, what the hell does it do? And it turns itself on and starts talking to them.
Yeah.
And then, it turns out the machine in and of itself was a recruitment test for Beecham specifically.
Yeah.
And this Exeter dude wants him to come and work with him. And another layer to the mystery. And it just keeps deepening. And then you slowly start to get the info piecemeal of, okay, actually... there is an ulterior motive, because you see the conversation that Exeter has with his higher ups, and then Cal and Ruth and the other doctor.
Yeah, I've forgotten his name.
Scott, I think, the one who sacrifices himself.
Yeah, and then the poor German doctor.
Yeah. But they were like, figure shit out
and they have like a little secret conflab, and they're like, go talk to the other guys, and they're explaining about like this sun lamp thing that they seem to have where it looks like people have been lobotomized. And he's like, how do you know? And he's like, go talk to them.
Well, yeah, even there's another little kind of mini mystery, because
they're like, we didn't know if you could be trusted.
Yeah, when Cal arrives, he recognizes Ruth, but she doesn't seem to recognize him, and he can't quite figure it out. And then you find out the reason is because they don't trust him.
Yeah.
Because...
and then you get the deliberate follow-up of, I'm still sorry, I'm not the girl in Vermont.
Yeah.
But her deliberately saying it to him, being like, you need to come talk to me.
Yeah. And you see it as well, actually, just before...
it's a really clever way for her to be like, okay, you're suspicious, I need to talk to you.
But just before he goes in for his first meeting with Exeter, Ruth sees that other doctor who I can't remember the name of, and she's like, "Oh, I wanted to ask you a question about your equation."
Mathematics, yeah.
And they come over and they're saying something, and then Brack goes to walk past, and she just completely changes what she's saying. And it's like, oh, they're having a conversation that they didn't want him to hear.
Yeah.
And then you start to see that, okay, yeah, Exeter is got this ulterior plan, but he doesn't want to do it the way that his higher ups or the way that Brack just wants to brain wipe them all.
And be done
and
with
Exeter's
it.
like, no, so there's an internal division there as well. And yeah, just there's so much more going on than I had remembered since the last time we watched it. And the way they space it all out from that kind of first opening 20 minutes of them figuring out and building the Interocitor to the stuff in the
it's like 20
mansion.
minutes of him on his own, then 20 minutes of kind of like the mansion and them trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, and escaping the mansion. And then the last kind of
20 minutes are all the end of it.
It's kind of a bit longer than that again. It's almost 4 acts because you've got
there's
first
quite a
act
bit
is building,
on the ship as well.
Yeah, first act is building the machine. Second act is stuff in the mansion. Third act is them going to Mezzaluna.
Metaluna.
Metaluna,
not
sorry.
Mezzaluna,
Not
that's
Mezzaluna.
a sandwich.
Means half moon in Italian, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's a folded flatbread. They're fucking delicious.
Yes, but not the name of this planet. Sorry.
No, it's Metaluna. It looks like a hell.
And then Act 4 is them escaping from Metaluna and getting home. Yeah, it's paced out really well. And all the stuff on the spaceship is cool as well, because you've got...
Oh my god, the opposing planet or whoever that's like attacking them, and like the reason that they're on Earth. The way the little ships guide the comets is the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's cool.
Oh my god, there's sparklers on strings. I love it. I love it so much.
That war aspect, though, while it's cool in a kind of...
Their home planet is a comet. How the fuck does that work?
Whose home planet?
They were saying the guys that are attacking them, their home planet was a comet that like got caught in orbit or something like that. And that's why they're like throwing comets at them.
I thought he said that was from the asteroid belt. I can't remember.
No, that they take comets off the asteroid
belt. They're also a former colony.
Oh, nice.
He says they're a former colony that's gone to war with them. So it's nice. You've got this kind of space opera aspect to it, which is cool. But I always kind of feel that in one sense it lets down the sort of theme of resource depletion. Because if the reason the planet was fucked was not because of a war, but because they had just used up all the nuclear material and ruined their planet.
No, but they needed to
that
like
message
maintain
stronger.
this like ionization
that's why they
like
used it up.
they use it for like defensive purposes to stop the asteroids like smashing the Earth's the surface of the planet, because they've moved inside it, which makes sense.
But if that aspect was removed and there was a different reason that they had used up all their resources, it just
Crichton? Krypton?
Yeah, more of that kind of thing where I don't
think Crichton used up all his natural resources. He did use up all his heads.
I just feel it would make that message a bit stronger.
It just muddles it a little bit, because a lot of it is to do about like the ethics and how you treat other races. Like they had touched on it a little bit last week in Teenagers from Outer Space with the whole like conversation about Sparky and them wiping out the human life for
with the full on space Nazis last week.
Yeah. There's always that thing of like, just because it's like xenophobic to a whole other level. Like just because they're intelligent, he was like, oh, of course we'll still be the like superior beings. And it's like, why?
But when the Monitor says it to them in this, it's not quite the full on, we're just better than you. He does say we have the superior technology and the superior weaponry.
It's the assumption.
But that's what he's annoyed. It's almost like he's annoyed by humanity's assumption.
Yeah,
because
he also says there's only a handful of them left as well, and naturally they'll be the leaders. And it's like, well, if there's only a handful of you, like, unless you're going to Zoidberg it and have a mobile oppression palace, like, you're not going to do it, buddy.
Well, it's not. No, it's just his point is that humanity. He's like, you guys are just automatically assuming you're better than us.
Yeah.
Even though we have superior technology. So he's being a bit like dickish and space Nazi, don't get me wrong. But his whole thing is, don't assume that you're just as powerful as us humans. Like, you humans just think that way. And that does become very much that trope in science fiction of humans who have just discovered the wider universe and other civilized life forms. meddling, getting in the way, thinking that their place in the universe is bigger than it actually is.
Stargate.
Fuck, it's in Mass Effect. It's one of the big themes in Mass Effect as well. Is
not
like,
so much SG-1, they kind of stumble into it, but Atlantis definitely.
Oh no,
they woke up the
very much
race.
SG-1 as well. But it's
like
a thing in
anything like that. Like you even have it in like the Federation part of the handbook being like, you know, you shouldn't interfere. Like it's that much of a fucking problem.
Yeah, but again, does the Federation also not kind of see itself as not world police, but like space police? You know what I mean? But that very much becomes a thing in science fiction.
And humans being very insistent that their way and their customs are the right way.
Yeah, and it's just
and
it's
it comes
nice
up
to see,
over and over and over again, and it's generally always like the trial when for somebody, the episode of any sci-fi where somebody is on trial.
And it makes it, well, yeah, but it makes it kind of hard.
Farscape, like, it has it. It's a huge part of Farscape because when he's trying to teach who was Claudia Black's character, like, how to be human. She's not human. No.
It's really, really common, but it's nice to see it here early on. But it almost makes it hard to disagree with the Monitor because he is being a dick and being like, we're superior and we're
like,
going to rule
you're not
you.
supposed to like him anyway. He's set up to be very like strict.
But when he says what he says there about, you know, we're obviously more superior, and then he says the little thing about humans thinking that they're more important than they are. They're viewing has the thing about viewing the world through a magnifying glass, or the universe through a magnifying glass. And then Rex's response is that he's like, you know, what makes you so high and mighty? And his response is something along the lines of,
our God. And I was like, no, not the religion
Yeah, now I'm with the aliens.
I'm with the aliens, yeah.
So, yeah, that was one of the things I didn't like
and it really irked me because I was like, if this hadn't been an American movie, that would not have been included.
Plus, it's
which
just
irks me a lot because of that. A lot of it is that whole American God. Like, stop it.
I know, and when they came so close to it, it's like, oh, look, we're just touching on this.
You would have to, like, just because you say God, you assume that they understand what that means as well. Like, it's a really abstract concept.
But it just proves his point as well.
They're like, no, we eat off our tummies. Like, fuck you.
It's like it's kind of cool to have that early aspect of the trope of humanity being a bit too big for its boots, and then it's immediately proved to be true because he's like, well, our God is more powerful. It's like, oh man, no, like, you're talking to an incredibly advanced scientific being from another planet. You should be, and for everything we know about this guy, he should probably be an atheist to begin with. And certainly when faced with everything he's just been faced with, he probably should question his religion if he has any, because aliens, did God make those aliens too? In which case, it's not our God versus their God, it's all the same God. So shut up, Rex. Well, not Rex, shut up, Cal. Sorry.
No, it's alright. It annoyed me.
That annoyed me. And as I said, just that little thing with the war, it's kind of cool because you've got big space opera war. But also, maybe just would have made that theme of resource depletion a bit stronger if they had angled that a little bit differently. The mutant, however.
Oh, God, love him.
He is for
interesting.
For everything
waist
else,
up, he's great. Like, waist down, he's.
It's not even how he looks; it's just his presence in the film. Everything else in this is kind of relatively like hard sci-fi concepts.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you've got this monster who is just there to be a sci-fi monster. He doesn't add anything to the film because he just keeps getting taken out by the situation. No, he does. The first one they encounter gets a whole lot of rocks fall on him.
Yeah.
The second one, Thingy fights off a little bit, but then it manages to crawl on the ship. And then when it actually goes to attack Ruth in the tube,
pressure kills it.
The pressure kills it before anybody has to fight it.
They're like, you shouldn't worry about it. It's bleeding out anyway.
It literally adds nothing to the film except for, like, it's just a cheap kind of jump scare aspect thing. And, like, it looks cool because it's that proper 1950s B-movie
like
alien.
Big rubber-headed alien with like stupid hands.
I mean, I would hazard a guess that Tim Burton drew on that mutant heavily for the Mars Attacks aliens. Yeah. And it looks fun in that sense, but it really adds nothing to the movie.
No,
and
not at all.
Apparently quite pissed off both Jeff Morrow and Rex Reason.
Yeah.
And they very nearly walked out of the premiere when they saw they knew it wasn't great, but when they saw it on screen, they were just so embarrassed they just wanted to sneak out. But apparently they didn't.
No.
But they also felt, it didn't add anything to the film.
Yeah, it does. It's kind of like, we needed a big third act roundup type
Third act
thing.
monster. Well, because the Monitor's not so threatening.
No, and like the situation, once they're kind of like out of range, the situation isn't really threatening again. They're just on their way back to Earth. Yeah,
and the planet itself is fucked. So yeah, it's like, well, we'll give them an actual monster to fight, but then they don't actually have to fight it. Yeah. So yeah, the mutant, he looks kind of fun, and he's easy to make fun of because he just wears trousers and. But yeah, could have done without his inclusion. Yeah,
he's a bit shit.
And again, I think it's just by contrast because everything else is so well done and so hard sci-fi kind of stuff. Yeah, he's
very like out of place. I understand they wanted to give it a bit more peril, but I really enjoyed like the escape from the mansion because the Interocitor appears to be Ex-Eliminator's desk device.
The Interocitor can do whatever the fuck the Interocitor needs to do, okay?
It's Batman's utility belt. It's got fucking everything because it can summon lightning from the sky.
Yep, it can view you from wherever it needs to.
Regardless of there being another one, yeah.
And
it's got lasers.
It can fire the lasers directly from the machine, or it can fire the lasers seemingly from the sky. Yeah,
it's cool. It's a Palantir as well, apparently.
Can't see through water, though.
Yeah, no.
Hide in a pond and you're fine. Like there is, there's cheese in it, don't get me wrong. It's a 1950s sci-fi film. But by and large, it is pretty good, pretty serious, you know what I mean? And with the exception of the mutant, the special effects are really good for its time, like.
Because it was very much lauded for being like the Technicolor. No, it wasn't Technicolor, but it was like the studio's launch of their particular colour. Was it like Panacolor?
Yeah, it was the sort of cinematoscope thing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was...
So, like, groundbreaking techniques. And the colour saturation in it, is particularly when the Interocitors are coming on, and that beautiful kind of watercolour effect coming through.
Oh, yeah, no, the colour in it is lovely. Especially after watching the colorised version of a black and white film last week. That was just harsh. The only bit is that blue light bit when they go to see the Monitor.
Yeah.
Because you're not expecting it. It's a bit like, why is everybody blue?
Oh, they all turn into Violet Beauregard.
But other than that, the colour in it is... It's actually pretty cool, and considering it was a new thing at the time, what they when they use the green effects and stuff, it looks pretty cool when you see the ship taking off in the background.
And it is further proof that everything evil is lime green.
Yes.
All the lime green.
Apparently the special effects took 2 years to do in total.
Yeah, because they probably had to hand draw on each cell.
Well, but because it was all new techniques, it took quite a while, and the studio wasn't happy with some of the scenes, so they brought in somebody to do a reshoot, and I was just like, Hollywood has always been Hollywood, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Running over budget, running over long, and then bringing in somebody for reshoots
and causing harm to its female actresses. Poor Faith.
Oh yeah,
her outfit was so tight she couldn't bend over or breathe properly.
She couldn't wear anything underneath it either.
Yeah, because it was so freaking tight, and they ended up having to build her this leaning platform thing, which I think are the actual.
I think they used it in the film, on
chair
the set.
Things, so that she could kind of perch and lean back, and you can see it actually in that scene when they're talking when she's leaning on it. She's hunched right over to one side.
Yeah,
probably in an effort to relieve the pressure off her ribs because the belt is so tight; it's right up under. And a lot of the time when she's in that outfit, he's actually physically supporting her as they're moving.
It very much sounds like she didn't have a good time.
No, she couldn't
doing those scenes
in the jumpsuit at all. She couldn't run, so he's actually having to physically aid her.
The thing is, it doesn't even look.
Yeah,
it's not normally when you hear those stories, it's like Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, getting vacuum sealed.
But when you see it, it's like, oh god, that looks skin tight.
Olivia Newton-John very famously being sewn into the Black Panther at the end of Grease.
But that all looks incredibly skin tight everywhere. Yeah. This doesn't look like it.
This seems to be almost similar to the Star Trek Next Generation first season uniforms that gave everybody spinal damage.
It was just unnecessarily uncomfortable uniforms, and it's like. Now,
and it's to get that kind of sausage stirrup legging look where they're really tight into the pants.
Yeah.
And then it's really, really tight around the waist.
I wondered if because there was the only other time you see a female metal legion is on the ship. I wonder, was her costume as uncomfortable?
Well, she was, at least she got to sit down, so it didn't matter if her fucking...
Yeah.
Also, their clear hair helmet things that they wear on the ship, they're so fun.
Even not all of them are wearing them.
I know. They're brilliant. I don't know why they're wearing them. They're fantastic.
I do like that they have to get pressurized.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense because
yes.
They go into the tube and come out into the same atmosphere
as the people who aren't pressurized. So somebody should be dying in that scene.
Yeah.
There is that aspect.
I do appreciate that. Like when they come out, they're a bit wobbly and stuff like that. Like they're trying to acclimate to it. Because I'm like, is there a gradual pressurization going on inside the ship while everybody's going through this process?
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm like, they didn't have to they could have just been like, Medellin is another planet. Yeah. But they were like, let's make the alien planet alien. So why is it alien? Well, it's got a massively higher pressure compared to Earth. Yeah, so
it's got a higher gravitational field or something like that.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that they were like, well, yeah, let's make it a little
I
bit
also
different.
like the fact that they like magnetize their hands on and they're like, so you can't like hurt yourself while this is going on, and like you can talk to each other for as long as like you're able to, but like they don't sugarcoat the fact that it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
They're like, you're gonna feel weird, and like when they get them out of the tubes, they're like, it's okay, you'll feel stronger in a minute. It like you're supposed to be kind of weird and dizzy. Like it's not like, oh, we've done something weird and like sinister to you.
Well, even they've got the bit as well with
they show them what's going to happen to them.
They've got the kind of bit when they're leaving Earth with the passing through the heat barrier.
Oh, the layer of fire around the atmosphere?
Yeah, okay, not entirely right, but it was the 1950s. Again, at least
they
were
cool,
trying.
Though. I was like, oh, cool, smoke. Oh, fuck, fire. I was like, oh, their planet's totally fucked. It's like fucking Judgment Day. And then there was more smoke, and then there was mountains. And I was like, okay.
I did kind of like the flyover of the obvious model.
Yeah.
It was
I love models though.
Obvious models. Yeah, they're great.
Also, actually, whatever effect they use to get that depth of field in the star field behind the model, that's gorgeous.
No, the like I said, the effects for their time are really, really good, and obviously compared to modern day, they're not going to stand up. But there's a certain charm to them as well.
Yeah.
Like, particularly I think the Incredible Shrinking Man will be where we see that the most.
That is
But this has it as well of like just it's old school special effects done well
behind the mountain.
Yeah,
and
that
really
shot
good
in
scale.
particular. Yeah.
I love matte paint backgrounds.
Yes.
The little lift thing coming down from the ship with the little green beam.
That looks fucking great.
It's so cool.
Again, yeah, it's clearly old.
And you can tell it's literally just somebody has like covered it with a piece of paper. Like that's probably had like the whoop, like but I don't care.
Yeah, no, old school.
It looks great.
Old school special effects, when done well, still look great. They look old, but they still look great.
Another side point of like them being really misogynistic when they get into the little cart tube thing.
Yeah.
She drives both times she drives. They get into the back and are just like, take us, woman. And it's like, she's never been here before, but you assume she drives. I also really like the little
she gets sent to pick him up from the plane in the car.
No,
so
but like
they know she drives.
They're like, no, but in like, he's like, welcome to my planet.
Yeah.
These tubes used to run on the surface, but now they're underneath it. Drivers. And like, when he's pointing stuff out, and he's like, that used to be a recreation centre.
I know.
Because he was like, this whole district, he was like, when he's talking about it, he's like, oh, this whole district used to be something, and you're like, oh, okay, whatever. And then he's like, points at one spot in particular. Yeah. And was like, see that right there.
Recreation centre.
That was a recreation centre.
The old Metaluna Rec Centre.
Had some good times. It's just such a random
it's
line.
Just so random.
Because it made sense when he was like pointing out the general areas and being
that was like an education district or whatever.
This used to be a booming civilization.
But yeah, it's like there's the old dance hall. There's this is McCrickett's house. Like we don't care. Who are these people? What are these things? Like just
jumpers for goalposts.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Overall, it's actually just such a good, fun, and surprisingly not deep, but like there is a good bit of like depth to this film in terms of like there's a lot going on in the narrative. It's not like that cheesy B movie. Like they are actually trying to have a proper story here. The main actors are all really particularly good. Rex Reason, Jeff Morrow, and I have forgotten Faith
Martigue.
Faith something. I'm sorry, I've forgotten the name. The three of them are great.
Yeah.
And we haven't talked much about Ruth.
I do feel bad for Faith in the latter half of the movie just because she does fade back a little bit. She's mostly damsel in distress. But I'm going to blame a lot of that on that costume.
Well, also that was all the reshoots. Yeah. So I'm guessing, whoever they came in for reshoots was like, let's make it more action-y.
she was obviously too smart a character for them, so they were like, let's make her damsel in distress.
Yeah, because up to that point,
she'd been very reasonable. She'd been making suggestions. They'd been paying attention to.
And there's even the point that's made by Exeter of if Cal is supposed to be the best there is.
Yeah.
And she's just as good as him. He points that out. He says, the two of you
and
are miles ahead in your field.
The two of them had hosted lectures together and things like that. So I feel like she was done a little bit dirty at the end.
She does get done a little bit dirty at the end.
But I'm going to blame that costume on her just not being able to fucking move.
Maybe that was it. She was like, I can't. Give me less lines. I can't anymore.
Because there is a physical limitation. You can see, when she is conversing with them in that scene where they're looking down on everything.
Yeah.
You can hear it. She's uncomfortable. She's physically in pain. And it does. It looks incredibly painful.
Yeah, she's like, no more dialogue. From now on, it's just screaming.
Yeah, well, it
just
looks
high-pitched screaming when the monster
where
comes
the
near
belt is sitting, it's constricting her diaphragm.
Any other high points for you then in this island Earth?
Neutron.
Yes, Neutron.
Neutron the cat.
Neutron the cat. He's called Neutron because he's so positive.
He was locked in the lab.
He doesn't seem very positive.
No, he's not. He's very hissy. Well, he's got a big old set of bollocks on him too. Because you get it, when she's taking him down the first time, it's like, yep, he's a boy.
Oh no! I'm gonna hope that Neutron was out roaming the grounds when they blew up the house.
Oh
yeah.
Oh no! Yeah, he's a cat. He'll be fine.
Neutron was somewhere else.
Yeah, Neutron was off doing catty business, making baby neutrons.
The only person to survive the house massacre.
Supposed to occur is Neutron.
Yes, Neutron is cool. Animals in films is always good, especially when it's cats.
Yeah.
No, for me, high points are things I've talked about already. Narrative is great. Acting is great. The two main leads of...
Joe is fabulous, and I wish we had more of him.
Yes, Joe.
Because I really enjoyed their interactions. It was believable. He's talking about the wife and kids and stuff like that, whereas Cal is the permanent bachelor.
It certainly seems that way anyway. A bit more Joe would have been fun, but I suppose where else were they going? When Joe goes, we get Ruth instead.
Yeah.
So unless they brought him
we don't
along,
really get him at the end.
No, he's just got after Cal gets on the plane. We see no more Joe. I assume he goes back and tells Joe the wild story of everything that's happened, but we don't get to see that.
No, but also what a way to exit. Hello, in a prop plane.
Even the smaller side characters like Joe and the other doctor who kills himself to save them, who I can't remember.
And the poor German doctor. The poor German doctor deserves a special mention because he was just out for a walk.
He was just out for a walk. I thought the first time I was like, oh, maybe he's come to help because they're like, get down, hide. But then the second time we watched it, I realised when he shows up, all he says is, what's going on? What's happened? And then he gets blown up.
Yeah.
So he was just out for his evening constitution. Heard an explosion, came to see if he could help anybody, and then gets killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor German doctor.
Poor German doctor. Yes, there are great moments of levity in this film as well. Probably not supposed to be moments of levity, but there are great moments of levity.
No, him blowing up is one of my favourite things because it's that stop-start editing.
And it's that stop and turn that he does of looking up to the sky and, what? And then boom.
But, that Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie type, they stop it and then the thing appears.
Yeah.
It's that with the explosion. And I'm a big fan.
Speaking of that scene.
I'm a big fan of that style of editing for special effects.
Oh, yeah.
I just love it.
But speaking of that scene, props to the stunt driver.
Fuck me! Cutting it!
He is going all over the place.
A Mars Minor or something?
It's
got wood on it.
It's not, but it's one of those old wooden panelled station wagons. And that guy takes it off the road, down a hill, back up the hill onto the road. He is going all over the place. That guy was having fun. And that guy...
He's fucking... I didn't think you could drift something like that, but he manages it at one point.
Yeah,
he's having a great time. They were just go hog wild.
Yeah, the effect of the explosions shooting at the car might not be the most convincing, but the way he's driving that car... But that's one of my highlights is the way that stunt driver drives the car. Anything else for you before we wrap up?
No, it is it is sci-fi, but there is enough kind of little actiony bits in it that it doesn't feel too bogged down.
I think it's intriguing and hard sci-fi enough that doesn't actually really need any action, to be honest with you.
But it's nice to have, like, they've, like, uncovered this, like, mystery, and now they're in peril and they're trying to sneak out.
Yeah, I think that...
Like, it fits in with the plot and adds
the peril aspect,
the ramp up of the events.
Yeah, I'd say...
The action comes at the right time.
Yeah.
That you get, like, a little, like, that car chase sequence, and then they get to the plane, and then you think they're home free, and then they're green again.
Yeah.
You know, it comes at the right time.
No, it is. It's paced extremely well.
I think we know where James Cameron got his formula.
Possibly.
Because it is very much all like there is.
It's not like all action at the end, but it's all like proper space
building
stuff
the
at
mystery,
the end.
yeah.
Because I think if you go into it the first time, you might be like, it's like nearly 50 minutes before a spaceship even shows up. Like,
you've just got some guys with big heads.
But it's carried along. Like you're not going. Where are the spaceships? Yeah. Where are the spaceships?
And it's like, you know that there's something really weird going on with them, and you're like, I need to know. Like, when will they find out what's going to be the turn? Like, is one of them going to get taken?
You're caught up
you're invested in it.
You're caught up in the mystery, and you're invested in the mystery, and you're not going, when are the aliens going to arrive? When do we get to see the spaceships? Because everything else is strong enough to carry you along through those 50 minutes until you do get to the spaceships. And then the second, that kind of end bit, that last half an hour, 40 minutes, it's all space stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where you get your space stuff. But there's as much hard sci-fi stuff in the early part, if not more so.
Yeah. When they're talking about all the science of everything.
All the science of it all. And all the
And I do like
stuff.
the fact that, like, there's a bit where you see Cal working in his lab, and what's his name?
Joe.
No, big head guy.
Exeter.
That's his name. Has given him a formula, and he's like, oh yeah, thanks, I'll check it. And he's like, yeah, well, you should find it helpful. And he's like, yeah, thanks, I'll check it. He's like, I ain't fucking like believing shit from you. Like, I do my due diligence, motherfucker.
There's an awful lot said between the lines between the two of them as well. So
their conversations are very interesting.
There's a lot to appreciate about this film, and it's one that if you haven't seen, I hope we've gone kind of spoiler heavy, but it's still well worth a watch if you haven't seen it. And if you haven't seen it in a long, long time, like I hadn't, you will probably find there's a lot more to appreciate than you had remembered.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that's like, I forgot how enjoyable this is as well. Just like, even without going into like the sci-fi aspects of it, it's a really, really enjoyable film.
Yeah, no. Whereas last week it is kind of like,
you gotta be kind of into the B movies to
it's the cheesy B movie
it's
sci-fi.
It's super camp. This is
just a good sci-fi film.
Yeah.
This is just a straight up good sci-fi film. Some bits of it are cheesy and old because it's of its time, but the story and the acting are serious sci-fi film.
Yeah.
And definitely well worth a watch. But that about wraps it up for this Island Earth, I think. Mm-hmm. And next week we said, I think, is...
The Giant Claw! Also featuring Jeff Morrow.
Yes, Jeff Morrow will be returning.
Who actually walked out of the Giant Claw.
Yeah, he did walk out of the premiere of that one. If you haven't seen it...
One too many bad space monsters.
It's a harder one to find, I think, than this Island Earth.
No, it is also in its entirety on YouTube.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Excellent. Well worth going and watching that before tuning in next week if you haven't seen it.
But if you are, we actually discovered, if you are going to go watch this Island Earth on YouTube, the YouTube version is actually shorter than the released version. But what they have cut out is just like minor,
it seems to be
filler scenes from like the montage sequences. Like you wouldn't notice they were gone.
Yeah,
it's not like it's nothing of note that they've taken out. It's just I watched the YouTube version first,
and then realized that the DVD version that we have is longer, and did struggle to figure out what they had actually cut out. Because
it's like small bits from like when they get all the packages, like
scenes of like him flying across the countryside are cut.
They've cut them down. Out of it. Yeah, they've taken it out in places just to make it that little bit
shots
shorter.
Of them like driving around.
Just if you're ever like, because it is, I think it's like an hour and 30 or something on the.
It's an hour 22 on the DVD and an hour 11 on YouTube. But honestly, you're not missing much in that 10 minutes. If you can't find it anywhere else, it's on YouTube. It's like
if you take out all the slow motion out of Baywatch, it's a bit of that.
Yeah.
But it is the complete thing. Like, you're not going to miss the bits.
So last week's film, this week's film, and next week's film, all available in their entirety on YouTube.
Yeah, that's because they're all like really old.
Yeah, some of them out of copyright, although I'm not sure that this one is. Anyway, that was This Island Earth. Next week is Giant Claw.
Yay!
As ever, thanks for joining us, guys. If you want, in the meantime, you can head back and check out some of our previous episodes, Or you can come and chat with us on Twitter at rantsmono, on Instagram at monorants_the_boys, or on Blue Sky at monorants. Otherwise, we'll chat with you all next week. Bye bye.
Slán.